To solve, what I'm going to do is add 4 to the other side, and I'm going to get 32. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I'm going to get x plus 2 squared equals 16. I'm going to square root both sides, and I get x plus 2 equals positive or negative 4. So when I subtract 2 from this, what this means is, so I have two solutions. I have positive 4 minus 2, which is 2, and then I have a second solution, which is saying negative 4 minus 2, which is negative 6. That takes me to negative 2 and 6. Choice number, 2 and negative 6 is choice 3. Now remember, if you don't know how to do the algebraic work, then what you should be doing is testing these numbers in the equation to see if it works. This dot plot tells us how many number of pets are owned by the students. What this is saying is that there were 2 students who have 0 pets. There were 2 students who have 1 pet. There were 5 students that have 2 pets. I like to write out all my data like this so I can see it better. I calculated the mean, okay, and the mean is the average. So I added up all of these numbers and I divided it by, I believe that there are 20 students in this class. I think the average is about 2.75 if I calculated it correctly. The median is the middle number, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to go all the way here, and then you got this half of numbers. So you got 10 on each side, 10 on each side. So if you don't have one true number, what you do is you find the average of those two numbers, and 3 plus 3 divided by 2 is 3. When they're asking which one is not true, choice number 3. And number 21, they're asking, what is the largest integer, x, for which the value of f of x will be greater than the value of g of x? So for g of x, that means I plugged in 7 for x, I plugged in 8 for x, I plugged in 9 for x, I plugged in 10 for x. I used my calculator and I had these values. Now for the f of x, I plugged in all of these numbers. I did 5 times 7 to the 4th plus 30 times 7 squared plus 9, so on and so forth. And these are the values that I got. If you notice, after 10, the g of x function is more when x equals 10. They're asking you what is the largest integer which this one is going to be greater than that one. So we're going to say 9. For number 22, I put an f of x and g of x into my y equals menu in my calculator, and then I graphed the graphs. If you notice, they intersect at 1, 3. So when it says the graphs intersect when y equals 1, that's not true, it's 3. Graphs intersect when x equals 3, it's not true, it's 1. Okay, so we got rid of those. Now, it was kind of confusing between number 1 and 2. The solution, when they equal, is 1 or is it 3? Okay, when you're talking about where they intersect in the solution, you're talking about what the x value is for where that intersection is occurring. Okay, so this intersection is occurring at 1, so you're focusing on the x value. Okay, so that's why we picked choice number 2. Number 3, they're talking about a store selling frozen yogurt. C of W represents the cost, and W is the ounces. Okay, so W is our input. This is what we're focusing on. This is acting like our x values, okay, and this is acting like our domain. So, can a yogurt cost $12, $2, $3.50, $11.98, $7.61? Yes, but the cost of the yogurt is basically acting like your y, and then the amount that it weighs is acting like our x. This is our domain. So can a yogurt weigh 4 ounces? Can it weigh 5.1, 6.72? The point I'm trying to make is that the weight doesn't have to be an integer. It could be a decimal. It can be 6.72. Unfortunately, it can't be negative. So the right answer here is choice 4. It's a non-negative rational number when you're talking about the domain. And domain is the input. And what you're inputting is inside this parentheses, and it tells you right there what you're looking at. This type of question used to be famous on previous test administrations, these consecutive integer problems. Some examples of consecutive integers are like 7, 8, and 9. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all consecutive integers. They're right in a row. You could also say -2, -1, 0. Those are all consecutive. So they want to know the product of two consecutive integers is 156. So now if I say one integer is x, then the next consecutive integer is x plus 1. I mean, think about it. When I got to the next one, what did I do to the previous one? I added 1, added 1, added 1, added 1. So this x plus 1 means the next integer. So the word problem is saying the product of these two consecutive unknown integers. So you would do x times x plus 1, and they're telling you the product is 156. So if you were to multiply this out, you would get x squared plus x equals 156. Now they don't even ask you to solve it. They're asking you what type of equation would result. And because of this x squared, you are talking about a quadratic equation.